Hey, what's up, you guys? Gurkir here, and today I wanted to talk about if the One Piece anime is still worth watching in 2020. So, the short answer to this question, in my opinion, is that if you haven't seen a single episode of the One Piece anime until today, then no, it isn't really worth watching One Piece at this point in time if you haven't seen it before. Now, before you guys click off of this video, because I already answered the question that I brought up, I want to get into the reasons why I think it's not worth watching it anymore at this point. The biggest reason that I can think of as to why people shouldn't get into the One Piece anime at this point or wouldn't want to is the length of it. The One Piece anime as of February 2020 is over 900 episodes long, which is way longer than the average anime that comes out nowadays, since it's a long-running battle shonen that's been going on for years at this point. So, in the amount of time that you could watch One Piece, you could watch like 100 other series that are 12 or 24 episodes long. And I think most people would prefer to watch those 100 other series, which makes sense. I think that if you aren't already into Battle Shonen to begin with, or you don't have the free time to be able to watch a series that long, it isn't really worth it for you to invest that much time into something that you might not enjoy. Another reason why I think it's not really worth watching the One Piece anime anymore is due to the anime having incredibly slow pacing at times. What I mean by this is that it'll take the anime a couple episodes to adapt a single chapter of the manga. So usually if an anime has good pacing when they're adapting from a manga, it'll have about 2 to 2.5 chapters covered in a single episode. But the One Piece anime has such slow pacing that it'll only cover about half a chapter per episode. And the reason that this happens is because Toei Animation, the company that produces the One Piece anime, really doesn't want to catch up to the manga and have to do a lot of filler, like how Naruto and Studio Pierrot did it back in the day. And then in order to not have filler, they have to have incredibly slow pacing so they don't catch up to the manga. And this causes issues because that slows the pacing down to an incredible snail pace at times. And that is what makes it not really worth watching to a lot of people. And that's why I think that people should get into the manga, which is what we're going to get into right now. So even though I don't really think that the One Piece anime is worth getting into if you haven't watched it before at this point in time, I think it is worth checking out the series. I think it's a great battle shonen series, and it's worth at least checking out to a lot of people if you're already into that genre of anime and manga. And I think that the way that One Piece should be experienced at this point is for people to read the manga. Generally, people can read a lot faster than they can watch something, especially when it has really slow pacing like One Piece. Essentially, the first 5 to 6 episodes of a One Piece anime episode is just recapping what happened last time or what's been happening in the arc and also the opening. That all takes up about a third of the episode's length. So you might as well just spend that time reading a chapter of the manga and just catching up to it faster that way. If you really don't want to have to read the manga, which I think people still should, it's worth it to experience One Piece in that way. And I think it's a much more immersive and better experience, especially these days when the manga and the anime are both incredibly long. I still think that people could have a better time reading the manga and enjoying it that way, just due to the flaws that the One Piece anime has with pacing and how it doesn't look the greatest all the time. I think the manga has much better artwork overall. I think there is options available if you really want to have to watch it and not read anything. So the option that I can give people is to watch One Piece. What One Piece is essentially the One Piece anime, but a lot of the additives and filler is cut out. So it just follows the manga better and it flows a lot better than the One Piece original anime. One Piece just follows it a lot better than the One Piece anime can because it cuts out all the unnecessary crap. I've spoken about a lot of the negatives that the One Piece anime has, but I think that I shall at least speak about some of the positive attributes that I think it has to offer. So one of the biggest ones that I can think of is that if you are actually binging it and you have the time to binge it and you end up enjoying it, like how I did when I was trying to catch up to the One Piece anime, then I feel like you won't notice the slower pacing at times, at least until later on especially, because you'll just be so immersed in it that you will go episode by episode by episode and you'll realize like, oh, I've watched 10 episodes when I really just planned to watch 2. Because it is that good if you're that in, like after you're into it at a certain point. And I think it also has a really memorable soundtrack, and that's what brings the fights to the next level, in my opinion, compared to what the manga can offer. And also, the voice acting is amazing in the more emotional scenes, and I think that brings out the characters more than just reading it could for a lot of people. Now, let's say if you do actually end up watching the One Piece anime and you catch up to it, which that'll be quite a great feat because of how many hundreds of episodes you have to watch at this point. Let's say you are actually able to do that. I think it's best to let the episodes stack up and not have to watch it weekly, because I think when you watch it weekly, that's when all the flaws start showing more, and you notice it week after week, like, oh, the anime is not looking too great this week. The next week, it's the same thing, and it's the same thing over and over again. I think that once you get back to that binging mindset, that's when you don't notice it as much, because you can just go episode by episode, and most likely, overall, you'll enjoy the experience more than having to deal with it weekly. Well, I think that's all my thoughts on why I think One Piece isn't really worth watching anymore. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and comment down below if you think One Piece is still worth watching in 2020. Well guys, thank you for watching, and have a good day.